friends are split into two camps, beer drinkers and wine drinkers. I've got salsa for the beer drinkers, so I'm making some wonderful sun-dried tomato stuffed mushrooms for the wine drinkers. I've got 24 ounces of white button mushrooms. I kept them on the small side, and I'm just pulling the stems out of the caps. Now, I've got a half a stick of butter in a really hot pan, and I'm just gonna throw the mushroom caps into the pan for just about 45 seconds or a minute. Then I'll sprinkle in a little bit of salt and just stir them around a little bit. I don't want to cook the mushroom caps all the way. I just want to get them started, get them coated in butter and flavor before they go into the oven. Okay, the caps are ready. They're not cooked, they just have a nice coating of butter and flavor. So I'm just going to throw them into the baking dish and let them cool off for a little bit. All right, now I'll get the ingredients ready for the topping, which is the really yummy part of these mushrooms. I've got a bunch of parsley, and I'm just gonna give it a rough chop. Now I have some kalamata olives. Just gonna chop them up. I still want some big chunks, so that looks about right. And then I have some sun-dried tomatoes. They were packed in oil, so I just drained them and patted them dry a little bit. All right, now I'll grab a little more butter, throw it into the pan. A little more butter never hurt anybody. I tell myself that every day of my life. Now I'm just gonna throw in the ingredients that I chopped, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, the parsley, and I have 4 cloves of minced garlic. Now I'll just stir this around and let it start to cook. I've got the heat on about medium. You don't want it to get too hot. All right, now for some extra deliciousness, I'm gonna splash in just a little bit of wine. Now, while that's bubbling up and reducing just a little bit, I'm gonna chop up some pine nuts. The pine nuts will just give the stuffed mushrooms a little bit of crunch and texture. All right, now I didn't put too much wine in here, so it's already reduced. So I'll just throw the pine nuts right in. And now I'll get the mozzarella ready. I'm just gonna cut the mozzarella into chunks. So now it's time to stuff the stuffed mushrooms. Mozzarella goes first. Now, it's as simple as just spooning the topping right over the cheese. Now, after these are baked, I'm actually gonna sprinkle on a little fresh chopped basil, and that'll really send these little babies over the top. Yummy. Now these need to go into a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, just until the cheese melts. I've got to finish off the mushrooms. Just sprinkle on some chopped basil, about 1/4 cup or so.